treatment.
Yeah.
Like I put it, before. Smart people. Good.
Yeah.
I was over there, I was wrong, trying to get into the both bombs and put the power on the phone on my.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then, now I have a keyboard. I can sit down, so well, jump into.
Yeah.
It's just. Good morning and welcome to Community for Justice Experience for Rural. We are at the bottom of Harvard Judicial Tribunal that holds public hearings and final applications to defining various zoning requirements and consents to federal land. Our hearings are now in person at Glen Franklin Place, 101 We also enable remote participation by video conferencing for our registered speakers. We are live streaming on YouTube and the video will be archived and available for future viewing by the public. My name is Martin Groupe. I'll be sharing today's experience and the rest of my name or as chair. And with me are my fellow panel members, my left, George Garrett, and right, Beth Henderson, and to my far right, Gary Dunn. Procedure for the hearing will be as follows. The standard agenda and the hearing on student untitled applications for here today. For sake of efficiency, I may deal with agenda items in different order. Panel members have reviewed the planning reports or the opposition to the application. Today will hear the moral submission relating to the application. As part of the statutory public notification requirements, each applicant is required to put sign on the property question before the hearing. We also have to confirm in writing that they did so, although we swear for a permit post-date and did not put the sign for the requirement. Otherwise, we may have to adjourn or postpone the The panel may ask for a brief presentation of that, followed by questions for the applicant to the planning staff. We will then hear from members of the public who are interested. We may also have questions for them. Finally, the applicant will have the word to an opportunity to the final comments. Please address your comments as the chair, there will be names, salaries, and necessary, and the municipal address for the record.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair, just pause for a moment. There seems to be a sound.
Test, test. Is that better?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Would you like me to start again?
If you wouldn't mind, yes, please.
Like Groundhog Day. So we'll do this again because of the technical difficulties we had. Good morning and welcome to the Committee of Adjustment hearings for Panel 3 Rural. We are a City of Ottawa quasi-judicial tribunal that holds public hearings to consider Planning Act applications, including minor variances to the zoning requirements and consents to sever land. Our hearings are now in person at Ben Franklin Place, 101 Centerpoint Drive. We also enable remote participation by video conferencing for our registered speakers. We are live streaming on YouTube and the video will be archived and available for future viewing by the public. My name is Martin Vervoort. I'll be chairing today's hearings and you can address me by my name as chair. By my name or as chair. And with me are my fellow panel members. Immediately to my left, George Barrett. To my immediate right, Beth Henderson, and to my far right, Gary Duncan. The procedure for the hearings will be as follows. Listed on the agenda and appearing on the screen from time to time are the applications we'll hear today. For the sake of efficiency, I may deal with agenda items in a different order. Panel members have reviewed the planning reports and any written submissions in support of or in opposition to each of the applications. Today we'll hear any oral submissions relating to the applications. As part of the statutory public notification requirements, each applicant was required to post a sign on the property in question before the hearing. They also had to confirm in writing that they did so, or they'll need to swear or affirm an oath today that they fulfilled the sign posting requirements. Otherwise, we may have to adjourn or postpone the hearing. The panel may ask for a brief presentation of an application followed by questions for the applicant and city planning staff. We will then hear from members of the public who have registered to speak, and we may also have questions for them. Finally, the applicant who has the burden of proof will have an opportunity to make final comments and reply. Please address your comments to me as the chair, starting with your name and spelling if it is necessary, and your municipal address for the record. All presentations are limited to 5 minutes. Any exceptions will be at my discretion. In either case, and within 10 days, the Committee of Adjustment will send the official written decision and reasons for it to all the parties and participants, and anyone else who has requested a copy of the decision. Does anyone have any questions about the procedure we will be following today? No questions? Okay. All right, then we have several applications to hear today, but first we'll need to deal with some preliminary and procedural matters. First of all, do any panel members have any declarations of interest to declare? No. No? No declarations of interest. Thank you. I don't think we have any minutes to approve today, so we'll move on and deal with the agenda. First, we'll deal with any adjournment requests. So I believe we have adjournment requests on agenda items number 1 and 3. So we'll deal with agenda item number 1 first, concerning the property at 2403 Conley Road. And I believe the agent or the applicant on that file is a Wheelmaker. Is there anybody here to speak to that item?
Mr. Chair, he's just joining online.
Okay, thank you. Good morning. If you could,
There we go. Can you hear me now?
yes, we can. Thank you.
Apologies. Good morning, committee chair, committee members. My name's Anthony Willemakers you can spell that if you want, Anthony, Wielemmaker at 7287 Marcella Drive, Greeley, Ontario. I am the authorized agent for the application at 2403 Conley Road, the severance application. And at this point, the RVSO has asked for a deferral, and we are agreeing with that to deal with the comments that have come back on the application.
Yeah, I believe it's just to confirm the location of the septic system. Is that right?
It is, and one of the comments from planning on removing some of the structures that will be on the retained land. We would like to explore that with planning as well. So that is something that came up, and it was we need to take a look at it. So,
Alrighty. Do you have a proposed date in mind for the adjournment?
I don't. I think from what I understand, you aren't meeting the middle of the month due to vacations and such. The next one is the next month, I believe.
So we have April 1st or April 8th.
Let's do April 8th just to make sure we've got enough time.
Sorry, Mr. Chair, it's April 1st or April 15th.
Sorry, April 15th?
April 5th. Let's do April 15th. The locating the septic at this time of year might be a challenge with 2 feet of snow on the ground. So maybe we'll get some warm weather and it'll allow us to be able to locate it better.
Probably a good idea. I'm assuming planning has no concerns or objections. Members of the committee, are we all in agreement then? So thank you very much. We'll put the matter over to April 15th.
Super. Thank you, committee.
I believe there's also an adjournment request with respect to agenda item number 3 concerning the property at 6122 First Line Road. And the applicant, I believe, L. Landry is here to speak to that or can speak to that. Morning, Mr. Landry.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Landry. Could you just state your full name and address for the record, please? Can you hear us, Mr. Landry? Mr. Landry, can you hear us? Mr. Landry, can you hear us?
Mr. Chair, we're going to put up the slide with a phone number that Mr. Landry can call into.
Okay. Are we having any luck connecting?
Good morning.
Good morning. Mr. Landry, I believe you're joining us by telephone now.
No, I relog. I apologize. Technical difficulty here. Yes, I would like to adjourn in case we break off here.
Okay, so just for the record, could you just state your full name and address, please?
Luc Landry, 1919 Force Road, Vars.
Okay, and you're acting for the applicant corporation, is that correct?
That is correct.
And my understanding is that an adjournment has been requested by the OSSO to allow time for location of the existing septic system, is that correct?
Yes, I had some conversation, and I wanted to review with them and understand why is it that condition 2 of the planning, if the application is successful, why does condition 2 does not meet OS staff requirement as we've done in the past? I had a recent file a couple months ago. I understand the concern, but the surveyor will provide the distance to the well, the existing home, and the septic. So I'm having conversation and trying to understand.
Okay, so the proposal then, I think, is to adjourn the matter for a few weeks until April the 1st. Does that date work for you?
Yes, that will work.
Okay. Any objection from planning? Members of the committee? We're fine. Okay, so we'll put this matter over to our hearing on April 1st. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
The last item for today is concerning the property at 6 Basswood Avenue in Stittsville. And this is an application for consent and a reduction in the front yard frontage for the proposed severed lot. So is the applicant here today? Would you like to come forward and have a seat? Good morning. So if you wish to speak, just push the button on the microphone.
Good morning.
Good morning. And then if you could just state your full name and address, please.
My name is Sarkis El Kawaja and 10 Woodbury Crescent.
Okay. And I understand that maybe you can just briefly describe what you're proposing, just for the benefit of everybody here.
Yeah, sure. Basically, it's a pretty straightforward proposal. We're trying to sever the land so that the owners can benefit from dual pieces of land. So the approach we had is basically to cut the land as close as possible to the house so that we do not destroy the house, trying to keep the existing. So we had to come down to about 13 meters, 12.65 meters lot width to maintain the 1 meter setback for each property. So basically it came down to 12.65 meters, and this is the main issue basically. And this is why we needed a minor variance.
Okay. So my understanding, just to be clear for the benefit of the neighbors who want to speak to, so the garage on the right-hand side of the house would be removed.
Yeah.
And then relocated to the other side of the house. The driveway would be relocated. And then the remaining property to the right of the house, that's the lot that would be severed. And the frontage would be reduced from the required 20 meters to 12.65 meters. Is that?
Yeah. Basically that's the principle. Yeah.
Okay. All righty. And with respect to the conditions that are proposed by the city, do you have any comments or concerns?
No, basically we're ready to abide by all of these conditions.
Okay. The members of the committee have questions for the applicant at this time?
Not at this time.
Okay, maybe we'll hear from planning as far as what their position is on this application.
So planning has no concerns with this No concerns with this application at the time. We feel that the conditions that have been imposed should cover any concerns that may come up.
Okay. And can you speak to just any comments on the infill policies of the city or the province on this as well?
Yes, so this property is in the suburban west transect, and section 541 of the official plan speaks to essentially the suburban transects moving towards densities similar to those found in the urban transects. And we feel that this proposal is in keeping with that policy.
Questions for planning? No. Okay. We have three residents who have requested to speak to this. The first one is Jennifer Duviver, and I believe she's participating remotely. Oh, would you like to come forward? Thank you. And if you'd like to just push the button on the microphone and then just state your full name and address for the record, please.
Sure, it's Jennifer DeVivier, 7 Basswood Avenue.
Thank you. And what would you like to?
I'm actually here on behalf of my dad, Reginald Judge.
Okay,
He just spent 6 weeks in hospital, so he wasn't able to be here today.
okay.
I actually wrote a letter already, but I can read it out to yourself and.
Well, we've
others.
seen the
Okay.
submissions we've reviewed the submissions that have been made, but
So then I don't need to speak then if you already have that.
well, if there's anything you'd like to add or if you have any questions.
I just don't agree with the planning of it. It's not a minor variance, it's a major variance. And it doesn't keep, it's not in, they want to build a 2-story house in a street with full of bungalows. So I just don't agree with it at all.
Okay.
So, but if you, I have the letter, but if you don't want me to read it, that's fine.
No, we have read
Okay, perfect.
your submissions.
Yep.
Okay, thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
We also have a registered speaker, Les St. George. Morning.
Good morning.
Would you just state your full name and address for the record, please?
My name is Les St. George. I'm at 5 Basswood Avenue.
Thank you. And if you'd like to speak to this matter? please go ahead.
Yeah, I got a few things.
Okay,
I just jogged down. We've been in this neighborhood since 91. And we just I don't believe that this application complies with the intent of these bylaws. Going from 20 meters to 12.6 meters does not seem to me to be a minor variance. I spent 45, this may not be important, but I spent 45 years in the construction industry, in middle management, in project management, in site superintendent. I've done commercial buildings all over the province. I've done heavy civil, several for the city of Ottawa, the Barhaven Reservoir, the Barhaven Pump Station, Albert Street Bridge. And, you know, I don't think we've ever had to reach this kind of variance. In the 45 years I was in construction, when I was putting additions or building custom homes, we asked for 24 inches, you know, expecting to get 18 maybe or 12. I've never in my life asked for an 8 meter or almost 8 meters severance or variance. I just, it's not, it just seems excessive to what the intention of these bylaws are, that the city has, and the official plan of Ontario, I guess, and the city's official plan that they go with it seems that it's just not meeting the intent of the bylaw. I also like to speak about, we've got a 1 meter away from the property line on what would be the west side on the bordering property of 4 Basswood Avenue. When I look at the drawings that are submitted, it's not a 412 roof line on that. It's much more, it's greater than that. The amount of water that'll be shed onto 4 Basswood's property is going to be excessive, and they won't be able to capture it with an eaves trough or any other means. With an 18-inch soffit, with a meter variance or a meter to the property line, 18-inch soffit, water's going to overshoot that and they'll be shedding water onto number 4 Basswood. 4 Basswood had in the 34 years I've been there, they've had their foundation dug up. They're running no less than 3 pumps to keep the water at bay in their property. It just, it's a concern. The other thing, we're taking down several mature trees in the neighborhood. This is an older neighborhood. It's a pretty nice neighborhood. I don't know if anybody's driven out there or passed by it. It's, people moved out there at the time for the larger lots. I just think that I don't have the words for it right now. The other thing I had to say about this was we've gone through 4 years of construction at 8 Basswood. The project started, it was mothballed. I don't know if the committee has any say. I guess this becomes part of planning, or this becomes part of the building inspection process moving forward. So it was pretty bad. There were days we couldn't get home. We had to go around the block. I know it's not the end of the world compared to what's going on today, but again, I've seen good construction. I've seen terrible project management, and it's very concerning. And the other issue is the garage on the other side. When they put it on, if they put it on, we're going to be back here because we're going to have another variance on the other end of the property. When are they going to put this garage on? That's a question I'd ask. In the meantime, while the construction's going on, after the house is built, if they put the garage on in a year, 18 months, where are they going to park their car? The driveway that they're using now is, the game show's over.
No, you can finish your comments.
So, I think just functional and operational aspect. They don't have any place to park their car. They're going to park on the streets. That's something that we don't have in the neighborhood. I think that needs to be addressed as well. And the last thing I'd like to say, and I know the committee has nothing to do or has any, I don't know, I don't think you have the power to suggest it, but I would ask the applicants, maybe reconsider building something, if this goes ahead, building something that's more in keeping with the neighborhood, more harmonious with the neighborhood, as opposed to what's being proposed. It's architecturally, I don't think a lot of thought has gone into it. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you. And I believe we have one more person registered to speak, Wayne Wilson. Oh, sorry.
Sorry. With regards to the delegates' comments, this question is for city staff. The delegate was concerned about the roof line and drainage. And in the conditions that are requested by the city, it has number 5, grading and drainage plan. I'm assuming that's for the site. And also grading and servicing plan and / site plan. Do you think that will look into the neighboring residents' concern?
Yes, I agree. The condition is intended to ensure that grading does not impact neighboring properties as a result of this.
So the concern about the roof line and the proximity to the side yard,
That's correct.
property line, that will be looked at
Yeah.
by building services as well as city staff, engineering, et cetera.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, thank you. And lastly, we'll hear from, I believe Wayne Wilson has registered to speak to this matter as well. Hi, good morning. If you could just state your full name and address, please.
My name is Wayne Wilson. Address is 78 Stonepath Crescent, Stittsville. Here representing number 4 Basswood. It's our family home. My mother is the current resident. Good morning.
Please go ahead.
I'm here before you this morning to speak in opposition to the application for a minor variance and severance of Lot 3 Registered Plan 869, aka number 6 Basswood. My family are the owners of Lot 2, number 4 Basswood, the property immediately adjacent and sharing the property line with applicants number 6 Basswood. We are the original owners of our property since its development and construction in 1972. Learning this past week of the applicant's proposal for land severance and then seeing the actual plans has caused us a fair amount of stress and sleepless nights contemplating the ramifications of this for our property. While we have a number of concerns that include the impact to the neighborhood as a whole, we have provided those to committee in written submissions. Due to time constraints placed on me here, I wanted to bring focused attention to the greatest issue of concern to us, water. Before I address the severance issue at hand, please allow me to provide you some background context here. Most of the homes within our neighborhood, spanning several blocks around us, were all constructed in the late 60s, early 70s, on older style infrastructure and utilizing older construction techniques. These included wells, septic systems, ditches for groundwater diversion, construction techniques such as cinder block foundations and sump pump driven weeping tiles. Over the years, some infrastructure has been upgraded, such as city water lines, sewers, and natural gas pipelines. But what has not been addressed in any way, shape, or form are storm sewers. Most of the homes in our neighborhood to this day must still make use of sump holes and pumps in our basements to deal with the dispersion of water. Each year, we have noticed the increased rainfall amounts in storms we now experience due to climate change. Our groundwater mitigations have continued to hold up until last year. Last year, if you will recall, we had within a weekend a severe rainfall warning of 50 millimeters, 2 days in a row actually of it. This resulted in us getting our basement flooded for the first time in 15 years. Not due to any failure in any mitigations we put in place, but purely the volume of water we had to deal with. Our 2 sump pumps had to deal with. We've had to add a 3rd sump pump just to deal with that extra volume. However, that's it. What we have in place, adding that 3rd pump, has maximized our capability for simple mitigations. This brings us to the issue at hand. Given the context that I've provided here, there are at least 2 items of great concern to us. First, one of the passive things we've benefited in our water mitigation strategy is the large open space of our properties that allow for greater water absorption, both back, front, and side. This allows for a reduction in the amount of water that we need to deal with, and it helps slow down the progression of water that flows toward our foundation and that our systems need to handle at any given moment in time. The application to sever will greatly reduce the area on the side and volume of nearby ground absorption, not to mention displacement of water due to the size and vicinity of any constructed building on the property line. Secondly, over the years, dealing with groundwater mitigation strategies, we've come to understand from professionals and our own experiences that roughly 7 meters outward from our house foundation is the critical area for reduction of surface water accumulation. The distance from our house's foundation to the shared property line with number 6 Basswood is roughly 7 meters. With such a narrow property width, such as the applicant's variance is requesting, it is pretty much a fact the resulting foundation of any structure built on this severed property would be practically right on the property line, albeit less the 1 meter side setback. The roof's overhangs are going to eat up 2/3 of that side setback, therefore guaranteeing that in any excessive rainfall storms that will result in water overflow and runoff falling onto our property and within our critical water accumulation zone. This will directly result in an increased volume of water to our system, which will most likely overwhelm it and cause flooding to us. In summary, it is my opinion that this cannot be classed as a minor variance. The applicant's request for such a reduction, which is 37% reduced lot width from bylaw stipulation, is too egregious an ask for this location and would result in real harm and substantial financial impacts to our property at number 4 Basswood. For the reasons that I have outlined, we respectfully ask that this committee deny the variance request and thus the severance proposal. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Any members of the committee have questions of Mr. Wilson? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Wilson.
That's it? Sorry, that's it?
Oh, sorry.
Mr. Wilson, just
Yes.
a question with regards to the current drainage on your property on the it borders the proposed lot.
Right.
Is there swales or any type of where does that water go? Does it drain to the street or to the backyard?
Separate. Front, we have some holes on the front of the house and on the back. Front feeds front, back feeds back.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Question?
Yes, my question is for staff. The roof overhang, is it within the 1 meter setback?
Looking at the drawings, it appears it might be into the 1 meter setback slightly. Yes.
And is that permitted?
Yes.
Overhangs are permitted in the 1 meter setback?
Yes, it's not crossing the property line.
Right.
Property line. Yes.
Okay. For sure. No? Oh,
Just to add to what you're saying, I live separate a few blocks away from the family residence. My own house is in a neighborhood that falls within lot sizes of what's being requested here, 40-foot width lots. The house next to me is within 5 meters. And what you're talking about, the setback does not cross the property line, but the water runoff that comes off my neighbor's roof is on my property and erodes my flower and shrub beds. So it is of an impact.
okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I have one more question for staff. The lot coverage that's being proposed, does it meet the zoning bylaw?
So everything except for the lot width, except for the 2 variances that they're requesting,
Right.
meets zoning provisions for the R1D zone.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Maybe we'll give the applicants a final opportunity to respond to what they've heard. I think it's something.
Is this the one? Hello. Hello, good morning. My name is Shella Kayum. Just wanted to point out, like, I understand the concerns of the neighbors. There were other properties in the neighborhood that were granted severance. For example, 2 behind us on Bradley, very similar to our situation. And as far as the type of housing that's on the street or in the neighborhood, of course, there are a lot of bungalows, but there are like high ranch houses and 2-story houses as well. So if the residents are concerned about that, I just wanted to point out that there are a mix of housing type in the neighborhood as well, right? So, I do respect the concern, and we plan to address the conditions attached or whatever needs to be done. to lessen the impact on the neighborhood properties and the neighbors. Just wanted to point that out, you know.
Okay, thank you. Any final questions?
Okay.
Question to the applicant, the pitch of the roof, could you just give us some more information on the pitch of the roof line? Do you have that information?
Frankly, we forgot the exact slope, but I mean, this can be adjusted if it is a concern, frankly, for the speed of the water. Is that your concern, you mean? Is this what you're asking?
Yes, it's more of a technical question on the pitch of the
Yeah,
roof
we can-
and whether there's things you can do to mediate that, which
Of course.
would require possibly, some snow shields and that type of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. We can work on that, either reduce the slope or make some kind of protections like shields and stuff. No problem.
Any other questions? So I would propose then that we reserve on this matter. But our decision will be issued within 10 days by the committee. And anyone who's requested to receive a copy of the decision will receive one. So thank you, everyone. So we're adjourned.
Thank you very
today,
much.
And our next hearing will be on April the 1st.